Forward, number 17, Marty. Defender, number 18, Derek Waldeck. Defender, number 21, Ahmed Longmire. Goalkeeper, number 31, Brooks Thompson. And midfielder, number 77, Andre Lewis. Head coach, Lee assistant coach, Renato Monte, Guido Hicks.
Finishing the week up with a Super Sunday in USL League One. Spokane, Washington. Spokane Velocity, they're on fire, the expansion side in USL League One. And forward Madison, two sides inside the top 8 in USL League One early in this campaign. Welcome in on this Sunday afternoon turned evening. I'm Ken Levicka, One Spokane Stadium. And Greenville Triumph leads USL League One, but as I mentioned, both sides inside that coveted top 8. Spokane Velocity, they have 10 points in the table, 6 matches in hand. Forward Madison, they've only played a handful. They still have a 0 in that loss column, one of only 2 sides undefeated in USL League One play. And this is going to be a good one here today with 2 clubs that have really brought the excitement in the attack, and you'll see part of it here. Jägermeister Cup was the last time out for Spokane Velocity, and what a goal fest it was against Union Omaha. Back and forth these 2 sides went, and it came down to the 93rd minute. There's Luis Hill with a goal, and then here's his brother with a winner. The Brotherhood gets it done. Hill, Heroes, Spokane Velocity 3, Union Omaha 2. And Spokane able to collect the 3 points in their stage. Luis Hill, 2 assists in USL League One play, and he is really the motor that makes this attack go. Luis Hill, the number 10, he has made his presence felt, and a large reason why Spokane is in good shape early in their team's history. Then there's Forward Madison. They were on the road for Jägermeister Cup last weekend. Christian Cheney getting things off to a huge start, a 2nd-minute goal, and right off the jump, it was 1-0 to the visitors. However, Charlotte Independence, we get a banger of a free kick to draw things level 1-1 in the second half, but that even score would not last long. Gephardt slots home the eventual game winner, 79th minute. Forward Madison 2, Charlotte Independence 1. And we mentioned Cheney, and he has done it all. The veteran presence, he has 4 goals, all competitions. Yes, he scored Jägermeister Cup last weekend. Last time Forward Madison was in a USL League One match, May 4th, he converted a penalty against Greenville in a 3-2 triumph. 2 sides playing exceptional football at this point. 2 teams that are one of the most exciting collections in all of USL League One, and they tangle underneath rain clouds in Spokane, Washington on this Sunday. Join us, won't you? Spokane Velocity, Forward Madison. This is USL League One.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Live on the edge this summer with professional soccer in Spokane. Check out the Velocity FC 5-match flex package. You get to pick 4 matches and see an international friendly versus the renowned Chivas de Guadalajara from Mexico on June 2nd. Secure your matches and seats while this special offer lasts.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
First meeting all time between these 2 sides. Spokane Velocity, Forward Madison. And what is that we see? Is that sun? That's the first time we have seen that peak between the clouds in quite some time on this Sunday in Spokane. It has been some rainfall, but it looks like the skies are parting for what's going to be a good one here Spokane Velocity here is the 11, and there you see both Hills are in the lineup. Luis Hill, he had the goal that drew things level 2-2, Jägermeister Cup against Union Omaha, and then his brother along the back line. He was able to toe poke one home, 93rd minute for the victory. And you have Brooks Thompson, new signing, in goal for Spokane Velocity as well. Forward Madison, pretty much a uniform collection along the back line. If you follow Forward Madison, you know the names: Kroll, Osbin, Chalaka, and Payne. And of course, anchoring everything in the back is Burns Shipman. And then you have Bartman and Christian Cheney, the extremely dynamic forward, up at the top of Matt Glazer's Sunday 11. Weather in the 50s, with the rain dissipated as we get set to close out the week in USL League One with two sides inside the top 8 and two of the best attacks in USL League One. Our referee, Christopher Calderon. Calderon blows his whistle, and we're underway in Spokane, Washington. The expansion side, Spokane Velocity and Forward Madison, part of the USL League One postseason a year ago. And welcome in, I'm Ken Levicka. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon with two teams that have found success not only in League One, but the Jägermeister Cup this season as well. Forward Madison in their blue shirts, while Spokane Velocity goes with the home whites. This brand new, sparkling, gorgeous facility, One Spokane Stadium. Long ball delivered forward and kept in play. Forward Madison goes on the chase, and Michael Chalaka will gobble up that bouncing ball on this artificial surface. Spokane comes in 3 victories to 2 defeats and 1 draw. They have 10 points. They are 5th in the table. This cross denied, goes straight up into the air, and we have a stoppage in play, and a foul was called. The first question asked by Forward Madison and Christian Cheney. Meanwhile, Forward Madison, 2 victories, 0 losses, 3 draws. They sit 7th in the USL League One table, 9 points. Both of these teams, Jägermeister Cup victors last time out. Union Omaha here at One Spokane Stadium. Spokane Velocity, the 3-2 extra time winner. 93rd minute goal for Javier Martin Hill. And then Forward Madison getting the 79th minute triumph from Derek Gephardt for the win over Charlotte Independence. And this is dispossessed in the midfield, and on the run with numbers comes Spokane Velocity. Spray to the outside, and that was eventually cleaned up by Jacob Kroll. And he'll earn his side a goal kick. And it looks like we have Aiden Macias, who's a bit banged up, and he's clutching at that left ankle. Macias, the Londoner. 2 goals for Forward Madison a year ago. And now he is up, and he's going to try and hop this off as the referee, Christopher Calderon, comes over to check on him. A friendly exchange, and now we're set to get back to action. It's only been 2 matches at home in USL League One play. This does not include the Jägermeister Cup, but USL League One play for Spokane Velocity. But they lead the league in percentage of time at home led. Spokane Velocity in their 2 matches, a win over Northern Colorado and Richmond, collectively led for almost 79% of the time. See if they continue this trend here against Forward Madison. A strong slide tackle. A good pace to this one here early on, though lacking in scoring opportunities, and a handball. Colin Fernandez had that bounce up off his forearm for Spokane Velocity. Forward Madison had an unexpected rest period that they were able to use to their advantage. May 8th, supposed to play against Knoxville on the road, but severe weather in Tennessee caused the postponement of that match day of, so that allowed a couple extra days, fresh legs for Forward Madison to go to Charlotte and help win that Jägermeister Cup showdown 2-1. And it was a couple of days back home in Madison, and then the travel yesterday. Left the Madison area early yesterday and got into Spokane. Matt Glazer, third-year head man for Forward Madison, was discussing how perfect the conditions were in Charlotte. 70 degrees, perfect skies after the severe weather that rolled through Knoxville in that postponed match. And then he comes here, it rains a good portion of the day in Spokane, and right before kickoff, skies clear and temperatures in the mid-50s, run forever weather. Couldn't script it any better if you're Forward Madison following a weather postponement. Into the attacking third come the Mingos, weaving through traffic, and then played off the ball was Nazim Bartman. Strong defense from the back line of Spokane that features Derek Waldeck. Speaking of one Knoxville start for them last season, Marcelo Lage, Ahmed Longmire, and Javier Martin Hill. Spokane testing the waters, and that will make its way on to Shipman. The veteran German, 29 years old, played every single solitary minute last season for Forward Madison. 12 clean sheets on the year. Spokane trying to grow the attack. This will be played back onto the feet of Colin Fernandez. The back four come up to participate in the midfield. Fernandez once again surveys. Delivers it to the outside. Collected there by Derek Waldeck. Led Knoxville in chances created and crosses a year ago. Waldeck back on the ball, and he heads to the corner. Can he keep it in play? No, he cannot. And this will be a throw-in. Deep defensive third corner for Forward Madison. Well, Forward Madison off to a good start. Again, 2 victories, 0 defeats, 3 draws through their first 5. Last season, Forward Madison spent their first 6 matches unbeaten, 2 victories, 0 defeats, and 4 draws. But here's the difference. In the first 6 in that unbeaten run to start the year, 7-2 scoring differential, but 7 goals in that span. Forward Madison through 5 matches this season, 9 tallies. So the attack has been better, and part of that first 6 run last year, there were 3 0-0 results in the opening 6 matches. Only 1 0-0 for notoriously stubborn defensively Forward Madison. And that was a 0-0 with Greenville in the first couple of weeks of the year. Other than that, Forward Madison, yes, they've defended the same, but they've also been much more effective on the attack. And we're going to have the first potentially dangerous free kick on the way to Spokane Velocity. Fans still filtering in after the inclement weather. Spokane Velocity and Richmond have gone neck and neck here in the early part of 2024 in terms of top attendance in the league. There you get a look at Derek Waldeck, native of Santa Clarita, California. 9th minute, still awaiting a shot on goal. Will it happen here? Spokane Velocity with Waldeck. And the lefty approaches, serves it into the box, and he overshoots everybody. Trying to pick out Longmire was Derek Waldeck. Longmire felt he was held. He motioned to the referee. The referee said nothing there. Goal kick. Spokane under the tutelage of Lee Wiedman in his first year at the helm, the native of Liverpool, England. But he has spent a lot of time in the States, collegiately, applied his craft in USL League Two, and then made his way to the USL Championship and was previously with Charleston Battery, and he is one of several members of that now former Charleston Battery coaching tree that have found their way to prominent positions throughout the USL, whether it be League One or the Championship. It's played into some space. And now forward Madison looking to try and pry. And Christian Cheney had his pocket picked, and it's distributed into the back. And this is blasted out of play. And this will go for a Brooks Thompson goal kick. Brooks Thompson only a couple of days into his tenure here at Spokane. He was signed this week, early this week, after Peter Swinkles retired on Tuesday. 26-year-old veteran goalkeeper. So Brooks Thompson brought in on a full season loan from Hartford Athletic. So Lee Wiedman saying, welcome to the club, and also lace up the boots. It's time to get yourselves in front of net. So Brooks Thompson making his debut for Spokane against a tricky team to get your feet wet against. And a fairly prolific and insistent forward Madison side. Thompson has plenty of USL League One experience. He spent a good portion of last year, made 15 appearances for last year's champions in League One, North Carolina FC. He was on loan from Philadelphia Union 2. Chalaka forced to push that across the end line, and it'll be our first corner of the match, and it goes to Spokane. Hill stands over it, and he'll deliver an in-swinger. Punches this to the back post, nobody home. It's headed into the corner, and forward Madison will play it out of trouble, but unable to clear it, and right back on the ball is Spokane. Spokane on the season is +3 in goal differential in the first 15 minutes of matches. Starting to get to that magic number here in minute number 14. Reedy is called for the foul as he got a bit too handsy inside the area. Windermere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our charity of the month. It's more than a home, it's a way to give back. Visit their site, www.windermerefoundation.com. The Windermere Foundation Charity of the Month. Stephen Payne, long ball forward. Cheney tried to make a run, fell to the turf, thought that he got his ankle clipped. The referee disagrees. And there's a late whistle. And the referee says that Michael Chalaka committed the foul. There you get a look at Chalaka. The native of Israel. 10 matches for San Diego Loyal during 2023. Both teams still trying to feel one another out. This sent across the pitch and handled well. Waldeck on it. Waldeck traverses into the middle, played on the hill, now pushed outside. Right-footed cross, headed out of trouble. But Spokane very quick to the ball. Lewis able to keep it in. Spokane starting to ask questions. Did that stay in play? No, it did not. Spokane starting to find some shape in the attack. A frustrated head shake there from Pierre Reedy. This play was blown dead before he sent that low delivery through. Just the way the schedules are laid out with the Jägermeister Cup now part of the USL League One plan. This is the first actual USL League One regular season match for Spokane Velocity in almost a month. In fact, 1 day shy of a month. And the crowd does not like that decision, as Kamarni Smith thought that he had an opportunity off the turnover and a counter, and now a flag is shown against Smith as well, and I'm not sure if it's for the foul or for dissension to the referee. But Kamarni Smith has been booked. So that went from promising opportunity potentially to booking. Polar opposites there in just a matter of seconds. And another unpopular whistle. Spokane, Washington, the newest city, the newest area in USL League One, and what a beautiful, beautiful city it is. Just a stone's throw, a little bit over a stone's throw, but you get the idea from the Selkirk Mountains between the Rockies and the Cascade Mountain Range. This is the first foray into professional soccer for Spokane, Washington, and the fans have come out. The community has embraced it. A lot of excitement surrounding this franchise, and they've given their fans early in the process a lot to be excited about as Thompson goes to ground to ensure he secures that ball. This is Party Like It's 1974 Day here in Spokane, part of what's called Expo 50, the 50th anniversary of the World's Expedition 1974 being held here in Spokane. It's an event that really transformed the downtown area, revitalized it, created the famous Riverfront Park here in Spokane. The theme of the World's Expedition was celebrating tomorrow's fresh new environment. It had environmental focus. So that's the celebration, celebrating the 50th anniversary of that exposition. One-two to the top of the area, falls to the feet of Hill. They'll spray it out to Waldeck. Waldeck, good pace on the cross, but not enough on the header, a bit off balance to try and make the play was Javier Hill. But that's the first two chance of the match. Hill, who was the hero, Javier Hill, in the 3-2 Jägermeister Cup victory over Union Omaha, got his head to it. But still no shots on goal yet as we head into the 21st minute. By the way, speaking of World's Fairs, World Expositions, if you count the USL Championship and USL League One, there are three cities that host a team in the USL League One and the USL Championship that have hosted a World's Fair / World's Exposition. There's Spokane. There's Knoxville, who just a few years after Spokane hosted their own exposition. If you've ever been to Knoxville, you've seen the Sun Sphere. That's where that comes from. That was in 1982. There's one more city, USL League One or USL Championship, that has hosted a World's Fair / World's Exposition. And I'll let you think about that. I'll let you ponder that while we continue on with the action. Spokane spending more time in the attacking third. They've had the majority of the possession, but nothing yet to show for it. And now a foul. In fact, it's a 56-44 possession edge here in the opening 22 minutes for Spokane. Get a look at this foul here as Lage was grabbing both arms. Typically, a referee will let that go for a split second, but there was certainly clutch and grab. Went on too much for the liking of Christopher Calderon. And the ball finds the back of the net. A blast from the outside, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous blast from the outside. My goodness, Villalobos, laser beam, and it's 1-0 to the visitors. That came out of nothing. Villalobos was able to tuck it past Thompson. Calmly put it through, and it's 1-0 forward Madison. Sensational placement on that ball. So forward Madison opens the scoring. And a rare instance of Spokane Velocity trailing here on their home field. So the goal to Jimmy Villalobos, the USL League One veteran. And forward Madison with yet another road lead. Spokane, who has had the majority of the possession, but they find themselves on the wrong end of the score line, and that was the first shot on goal of the entire match for either side. This club to the edge of the area, and it'll be blasted away from trouble by Mitch Osmond. Devin Boyce hustles to win that ball in the midfield. Seen a bit of urgency after conceding the goal for Spokane. This will be swept on to Chalaka. And a handball. Now you see Spokane has been in control, has not allowed many opportunities for forward Madison. The one true opportunity, and that ended up finding the back of the net. For Villalobos, that is his first goal of this USL League One campaign. Forward Madison could not get this out of their defensive third. Worked around to the outside. Hill. Back on to Waldeck. Marnie Smith wrestles near the end line. And well done by forward Madison in close quarters. It's poked out of play. This will go for a Spokane throw, and Matt Glazer along the touchline. Forward Madison head coach can't believe it. Spokane rushes to get back into action. Trying to chip it into the area. You got a brief look at it, incensed Matt Glazer. Glazer in his third year at the helm of forward Madison. Last year, going into last season, basically overhauled the entire roster. Hit the reset button on a side that finished 9th the year before, well out of the playoff picture by 9 points. But he struck enough right chords to get in despite a late season lull and play in the postseason for the first time in Glazer's reign before bowing out to Northern Colorado in the quarterfinals. Waldeck on his left foot. Waldeck unable, though, to serve up anything. Well done, good shape defensively for forward Madison. But here is a beautiful delivery, and what a save! Point blank, Shipman denied it. Shipman stood his ground and escorted that aside. What a ball from Mumba. Outstanding pace from Reedy, and Shipman says, not on my watch. The first shot on goal for Spokane. It looked like a sure equalizer, and Shipman brick-walled it. The referee stops play. Christian Cheney having a heated conversation with the referee. And Christopher Calderon says, please depart. Christian Cheney obliges. So a 22nd minute goal from outside the box from Jimmy Villalobos is the difference. We came inches away from it being 1-1, if not for Burns Shipman and his remarkable save off what appeared to be a sure thing header from Pierre Reedy. Man, that delivery, by the way, from Ariel Mumba could not have been any more perfect. right where it needed to be. And Reedy, unmarked, just stood, waited for it, did his job. Shipman just read the ball extremely well and positioned himself expertly. Retrieving is Osman, I should say, the Australian for forward Madison. Oh, some issues for forward Madison in the back. They're able to alleviate that pressure. On the run they come. Up the far touchline. Forward Madison will hold up play for a moment. Here's Boyce. Played into space. Now to the outside. And that cross is blocked up and out of play. It's going to be a corner. Waldeck denied that entry from Stephen Payne, but a set piece here for forward Madison. Now, neither side this season has trailed at halftime. But as we approach the half-hour mark, Spokane's going to start flirting with it. Boyce will do the corner duties. This is headed out of the box, but a blast off the bar! They almost got another one from distance, and then it's headed on to Thompson. Osmond pushed it to the goalkeeper, but almost a second for forward Madison. And that was Stephen Payne who pinged it off the crossbar. And you saw Ahmed Longmire as Thompson was able to snag the soft header out of midair. Longmire just put his hands on his knees, almost as if to say, boy, I'm relieved, because this should have been 2-0. Forward Madison being outpossessed. However, Forward Madison some glorious opportunities. Scan now, you're going to win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts with footballer fuel. Thank you, Caruso's, De Leon's Taco and Bar, the Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Jimmy John's, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Steam Plant Restaurant and Brew Pub. Footballer fuel. Just scan the QR code. Past the half-hour mark, Ken Levicka here with you. USL League One on this Sunday. Spokane, Washington, won Spokane Stadium. And it's 1-0 to forward Madison, thanks to Jimmy Villalobos. Former Chattanooga and one Knoxville man. Spokane has numbers on the counter to the outside, trying to push it forward. And Shipman is able to gobble up that cross. It looked promising for a moment. Andre Lewis was in the vicinity, camped out in the box for Spokane, but it never found him. Devin Boyce has the ball played to him by Cheney. Well done by Waldeck. His left back position. And now a long ball forward. The chase is on. It checks up. Smith, can he get to this? Yes, he pops it back post, but nobody's there. He didn't have any trailers. And this will be chested right to Shipman. Spokane has been certainly asking plenty of questions, but have not found a way to get themselves onto the scoreline. So I mentioned that third at USL, whether it be League One or Championship City, that hosted a World's Fair like Spokane did in 1974. Knoxville did in 1982. San Antonio did as well in 1968. San Antonio, of course, champions of the USL Championship 2 seasons ago. court. Madison trying to build out of the back. Have now scored first in 5 of their 6 USL League One matches. But have held only one halftime lead. A lot of second half action. Play to the right side of the box. Trying to lay it off to Cheney. Thompson on the run, able to take it off the feet of Cheney. How about some USL Spokane merchandise? Velocity fans, get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Long ball, Shipman on a hop. No problems. Shipman, who was called up to the Philippines national team ahead of World Cup qualifiers in 2022, a native of Germany. Two clean sheets this season for Shipman. Oh, that's a great move inside, now back to the outside, but it floats by Thompson. And no real danger posed despite the good effort by Wolfgang Prentice on that left flank. Brooks Thompson getting the call over Carlos Marancio. Marancio has 2 clean sheets just like Shipman this season. Waldeck was not going to get there, and it is delivered out of play by Shipman, who had a bit more time, I think, than he thought. And it's a corner. And that was actually, that wasn't Waldeck, that was Hill that was pestering him. But Shipman panicked a little bit, and instead of knocking it across the touchline, he put it across the end line for a set piece. This is going to go back post, and it curled across the end line. No real chance for Kamarni Smith to make a play on it. Check that, that's Ariel Mumba. Last club crew 2 for Mumba. Also spent some time with Oakland Roots a couple of seasons ago. This is 3rd appearance for Spokane here today. Spokane wins another 50-50 ball. To the right side, flicked on. And that was a little bit too close for comfort from Michael Chalaka. One, he didn't have really any attackers around him. But also his attempt to clear it out of trouble. Look how close that came to that left post. Yikes. Another corner for Spokane. This curled towards the crossbar. It might have hit the crossbar. I think it did. Shipman's been awarded a goal kick. That did indeed hit the crossbar. So Hill, I don't know if he was trying to go for it, but he did go for it. That's the second best chance of the match for Spokane. Spokane, guess what? Right back in possession. And a free kick from just outside the area on the way. Hands to head. Frustration for Nazim Bartman. So after Hills near Olympico, now a much more conventional free kick opportunity for Spokane Velocity. And it looks like the same man, Luis Hill, who's going to come over and join Waldeck. And they'll pick out who's going to do the duties. 40th minute, and another chance for Spokane. Hill and Waldeck discuss the game plan. It's going to be Waldeck into the area, and an unmarked man, and it was mishit. All by himself, Marcelo Lage. A beautiful play right off the training ground. There were 3 or 4 different attackers standing, waiting, and Lage missed by about 15 feet from just at the periphery of the 6-yard box. Oh, he'll want that one back. Spokane has made Shipman think about it with their heads twice now. Shipman with a glorious save on Pierre Reedy, the midway point of the opening half. And there, Lage just misdirected it in a big way. Spokane has had the possession and the bulk of the opportunities. Forward Madison has the Villalobos goal from distance and the 1-0 advantage. Forward Madison just doing what they do, stingy, hanging tough. Waldeck on to Fernandez. Into the box, Mumba! It went across the mouth of goal. Now here's Reedy as he weaves. Great pace on that cross. And now Mumba, can he get to this one? It's over his left shoulder, and the flag is up. He's offside. Well, Area Mumba is busy. Probably deserved a bit better tracking down that ball and sending in that cross. And no one on the receiving end. Spokane single match tickets. Scan the QR code on the bottom right of your screen. Get your single match tickets today. Spokane Velocity single match tickets. Gill. And another offside. The inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup continues Saturday. Third round games, I should say, in group play, 1 p.m. Eastern. Watch all the Cup games streaming exclusively on ESPN+. Both teams, 2 sides. Jägermeister Cup victors last time out. Both required a bit of late match magic. Derek Gephardt for Forward Madison, 79th minute, road victory over Charlotte Independence. 93rd minute, Javier Martin Hill for Spokane to take down Union Omaha. This is pushed forward. And a great cross to the back post. Payne was trying to find Cheney, but it's collected in the corner, and the pressure continues. Now it's Boyce with a right foot, curled it in! Oh, that was fantastic! Boyce took his time, put his right foot into it, and Thompson sprawled for it, could not keep it out of the back of the net. And it's 2 before the strike of halftime for forward Madison. A dream opening 45 for the visitors. Perfect placement. Takes a couple of steps, puts it right where he wants it. And forward Madison up 2-0. And both of these goals have been highlight reel. And it will indeed be only the second halftime advantage in USL League One play for forward Madison. Some uncharted territory for Spokane, being down by multiple goals. Marnie Smith, Waldeck, Mumba. Behind Smith. Boyce, the goal scorer, able to catch up to it, and then a whistle stops play. And that is Michael Chalaka. He's trying to sort himself out physically. Villalobos and Boyce, the two forward Madison goal scorers in this opening half. Boyce able to get to it first. And it's punched away. It is a stunned silence here in Spokane. Forward Madison has jumped to this 2-0 advantage. Just a week ago, this forward Madison side was 3,000 miles away in Charlotte. You couldn't play two matches further from one another than Charlotte to Spokane. They've added an additional minute to the 2 that were announced, so we will play 3 minutes of stoppage time. Spokane had only conceded one USL League One goal at home in their 2 home USL League One matches. That has since ballooned now to 4, or 3 I should say, with these 2 goals here today. Cheney. That's pushed out of play for a forward Madison throw-in, and that'll likely find us to expire the rest of the time here in this opening half. Calderon glances at the whistle, hand goes up, whistle does blow, and that is it for the opening 45. Forward Madison, calm, patient, and then 2 bangers, beating Brooks Thompson. The second one, you just saw the man Devin Boyce. The first one, that man, Jimmy Villalobos, able to find some laser shots past Brooks Thompson in his Spokane debut, and it's 2-0 to the visitors, forward Madison, at halftime. Well, the attack has been as advertised. One team has brought it, forward Madison, while Spokane's been stymied. At halftime, forward Madison 2. Spokane looking for answers, 0. 2-0 forward Madison. This is USL League One.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Spring is here, and so is Velocity FC Professional Men's Soccer. Don't miss the historic first season in one Spokane stadium. Feel the rumble in May with 3 home matches on Saturday, May 11th, Sunday, May 19th, and Saturday, May 25th. Get your tickets now.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
$2-0 forward Madison over Spokane Velocity here at halftime. A stunning scoreline, not because forward Madison isn't an excellent side, but they have come and they have delivered an improved attack to a side that has played extremely well on their home pitch. And let's take a glance at what happened this week in USL League One. Charlotte and Union Omaha, rain falling and goals leaking in. And you see the celebration is on for Charlotte Independence, but Union Omaha, what a stingy side. What an excellent side. They come into today sitting second in the USL League One table. And look at that delivery. Look at that cross and that goal for Rodriguez. And Union Omaha started to roll after that, slotting another one home. And Union Omaha just doing Union Omaha things. It continued despite the rainfall. Union Omaha 4, Charlotte Independence 1. And then it was Fuego playing host to One Knoxville. And early on, One Knoxville, look at the beautiful footwork, the near finish, and then coming to the aid, One Knoxville, a 1-0 advantage. Then beautiful delivery. Look at this header, placing it where only it was going to find the back of the net. A convincing victory on the road for One Knoxville. It was 2-0. Then Tormenta and Chattanooga, and this was all Tormenta from the start. That goal punched home. This played into the back of the net. And Tormenta, they looked every bit a team that can be there at the end here in USL League One. That gets chopped home. A 4-0 scoreline. Tormenta taking down Chattanooga Red Wolves. They actually continued struggling Richmond at home with Greenville triumph. And Greenville, they're top of the table for a reason. Boy, look at that. Great long ball forward. And then a blast upper right. Greenville able to come up with the victory. 1-0. They hang on for all 3 points in the table. Fans looking on, wondering how their side can get back into it in the second 45. It's forward Madison 2, Spokane Velocity 0. More halftime after this. This is USL League One.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Traeger up over the top. Tristan Traeger. It's in.
Opportunity here. The hits and a goal.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Maybe running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
It is 2-0 to Forward Madison as we finish up the week in USL League One. It rained much of the day here in Spokane, and then it's rained goals on Spokane. Villalobos and Boyce, the goal scorers for Forward Madison. How about some news and notes from USL League One? The Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. How about some USL Love Championship version? Detroit City FC, New Mexico United have both defeated MLS opponents, and they're into the round of 16. That comes up just a couple of days' time, May 21-22. Mark calendars. Californication AV Alta FC is going to join USL League One in 2025. As expansion continues for League One, they're going to play at the renovated Lancaster Municipal Stadium. And a reminder, USL League One on ESPN2, well-deserved. Forward Madison getting its first nationally televised match. And it'll be South Georgia Tormenta, the opponent, June 15th. And that kickoff is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Not going to want to miss that. Forward Madison and Tormenta, June 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the USL League One on ESPN2. If you missed any of round two, Jägermeister Cup, let's take a look at some of the best highlights.
Flipped off of it. Pops back towards Yamazaki. Slices through traffic. Yamazaki strike. Oh, Yamazaki! Drop dead gorgeous. And it's 5-1 Northern Colorado.
Ruiz. Headed. Bicycle. Oh, punched away. Great save by Shallow.
That's the good stuff right there, and more to come surely in round three of the Jägermeister Cup. Here's the schedule. Forward Madison, 1 Knoxville, 7 o'clock next Saturday. Northern Colorado has Charlotte, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Chattanooga and Lexington. Spokane takes on Greenville. That's going to be a good one, as is Tormenta and Richmond Kickers. And then midweek on the 29th, Union Omaha lays out the red carpet for Central Valley Fuego as they'll come in for a Jägermeister Cup tangle. That's round 3 of the Jägermeister Cup. We'll get set for the second half of action after this. This is USL League One.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
Live on the edge this summer with professional soccer in Spokane. Check out the Velocity FC 5-match flex package. You get to pick 4 matches and see an international friendly versus the renowned Chivas de Guadalajara from Mexico on June 2nd. Secure your matches and seats while this special offer lasts.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
Forward Madison has hit the road. They have the 2-0 halftime lead over Spokane Velocity. We are moments away from the start of the second half here in the Pacific Northwest. But before we get back to action, how about we take a glance at how we got here, some moving pictures. And it was Forward Madison. They did not have the majority of the possession in the opening half, but they were opportunistic with their chances. How about Jimmy Villalobos? Able to beat Brooks Thompson, who was signed back on Tuesday. And Villalobos says, welcome to Spokane, with a low left-footed blast from outside the area. And the USL League One veteran gave Forward Madison a 1-0 advantage. That was minute 22. Then Pierre for Spokane. He was denied point blank. Pierre Reedy and Shipman, positioned on the post, was able to keep it 1-0 to Forward Madison. A sensational save, and then some crossbar contact from Forward Madison. Thompson able to finally grab possession as it was headed back to him, but Thompson wasn't getting a hand on that one from Devin Boyce. With just minutes left to go until halftime, look at the curler, finesses it upper right, and it's time to dance, and why not? He earned that. 2-0 Forward Madison. Here are the halftime numbers. 4 shots for Forward Madison, 2 have gone in the back of the net. Spokane with 3. And 3 shots on target to the visiting side. That 1 shot on target was that remarkable Shipman save on Pierre Reedy. Possession, it evened up. And in fact, Forward Madison gained the possession once 45 minutes were expired. That was not the case the first half hour, 51-49. And there you look at Christian Cheney. Forward Madison has the 2-0 advantage, only the second halftime lead in USL League One play for Forward Madison here in 2024. Christopher Calderon says, let's get this moving, and the second 45 are underway here in Spokane, Washington. I'm Ken Levicka, and this is USL League One. 2 teams that entered today inside the expanded 8-team postseason picture on nutmeg. And then a battle inside the box, and still working hard is Pierre Reedy. And I thought he earned his side a corner kick. And the referee says, no, that's a goal kick. And I think that that's some tough luck there for Spokane. Reedy kept it moving, was able to maneuver through traffic. And that almost certainly took a carom off of a forward Madison defensive player. Well, the frustrations carry into the early portions of this half. And now here's forward Madison streaking on. It's delivered to the area and slid away by Hill. After Wolfgang Prentice was able to win the foot race to the opposite end. So the corner that Spokane thought they deserved and didn't get, forward Madison will get instead. Christopher Calderon has put one name in his book through 47 minutes and change. Kamarni Smith at the top of the Spokane formation with a yellow early in this one. Boyce sends in the corner, headed away, but stepping onto it, having it blocked down, been able to regain that ball was Macias. And Prentice active again. Able to get forward Madison another corner. Wolfgang Prentice out of Redondo Beach, California. 9 matches on loan last year for forward Madison. Scored twice. Boyce will do this again, this time to the edge of the 6-yard box, and that's headed away with more force this time. And forward Madison is pushed back into the midfield. Off a couple of heads, and forward Madison was going to go back to work. Villalobos was able to get on that ball. Now, forward Madison this season, their opening goal in away matches, the average minute that they scored them was the 48th minute. They expedited the process here today ×2. Spokane on the run. Oh, this is played beautiful into the box, and Shipman comes up and gobbles it away from Hill, who was streaking towards goal. Well, Shipman and Hill got there at the same time, and I think Shipman might have taken some contact. Hill, and I think he got Shipman's hand, his right hand. You saw Mitch Osmond come up immediately and say we might need some medical attention for the man. I don't think there was anything nefarious there. I just think that Shipman selling out. Lee Veidman looks on. Good time to revisit our injury report. DuPont, Hackworth, Antonire, and Rojas all out with injuries today, unavailable. Pierre Reedy comes over for instruction from Lee Veidman. And that injury report was brought to you by Kinetic Chiropractic. Shipman, a little bit of a wry smile on his face as he tries to collect himself, get himself back in order. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Two 2-0 to forward Madison, thanks to goals from Villalobos and Boyce. Spokane has work to do if they want to try and chip away. Boyce was able to put it on to Macias. It's played into the box. That's swept away. Well, throughout the course of the summer and into the fall, Spokane's going to try and stay away from the dubious history of expansion teams in USL League One. Since 2020, expansion sides have averaged 8 wins and no better than 7th or 8th in the table. Now, with the expanded postseason, this would put them in the playoffs, but only 2 teams since 2020, only 2 expansion teams have made the playoffs. Omaha 2020, Charlotte 2022. So far, so good for Spokane, though they're running into some roadblocks today against forward Madison and their veteran attack. Not just the attack, it is a roster full of veterans. And it is shown in the early going. Trying to go 6 matches unbeaten to start the year, just like 2023. But they've been doing it with significantly more scoring. They are well-rounded. There's more coming. Low cross. An extended foot, able to push it back outside the area. And then it's going to go for a deflected throw-in for Spokane. Well, earlier this week, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown made a bet with Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway about this match in particular, and Spokane Mayor said, well, if Forward Madison wins here in the Northwest, craft beer is coming Madison's way. That's something Madison knows plenty about, by the way. Spokane tries to organize something here in the attacking third. Spent most of the first half with a pretty sizable possession edge, and then it fell apart in the final 10 minutes of the half. Forward Madison ended up finishing with the possession lead after 45 and a 2-0 advantage on the scoreboard. Patience for Spokane. Here's Lewis. Now Mumba sends it right back to Lewis. Forward Madison keeping some pretty good shape. Hill cut it briefly onto his left foot. Now the other Hill. A high floating cross. Shipman goes high, made contact with the post and hung onto the ball. The referee checks in with him to make sure he's good. Shipman gives a thumbs up. And another strong job completed by Burns Shipman. He's had himself a day. Goes up, catches, and then catches his left shoulder on the post. But bounced up after his kiss with the woodwork. No harm done. Back to this bet. Satya Rhodes Conway, the Madison mayor, said, well, if Spokane wins, then we'll send you a Taste of Madison basket. Now, I don't know what a Taste of Madison basket entails. I do know that I lived for a year in Madison, Wisconsin, and imbibed on much of what I believe to be part of a Taste of Madison basket. So there's no doubt that there's probably beer of some sort, craft beer or otherwise. I have to imagine cheese curds, and if it's being shipped, it's not going to be the fried kind. It's going to be the cold, refrigerated kind. Both are fine. A sausage of some sort, probably bratwurst. Now, if you respect yourself, you're not going the pre-cooked bratwurst. Waldeck, nobody home. Sent it behind Mumba. Can Forward Madison get out on the counter? This is sent to the outside, and it is going to be out of the reach of a frustrated hands to knees Wolfgang Prentice. This is going to be pushed back onto Shipman. And he'll sweep it into the near corner of his defensive third. Forward Madison has been extremely composed in this one, showing their veteran guile, and rocked to this 2-0 advantage into the 56th minute. So right now, though, it certainly looks like, at least at this juncture, that there's some craft beer headed Madison's way to the mayoral office. Thompson sends it to the center of the pitch, and now Spokane back to work. Looking to cut this forward Madison lead in half. Contact to the outside of the box. Pierre Reedy says, I was knocked down, that should have been a foul, and the referee says no dice. And that rolls harmlessly onto Shipman. Sirius XM. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Reedy has it right back, and now it's Hill. Louis Hill to Lewis. Sends it off to the left. This is whipped in. It's a second head! And it's Shipman again saving the day. Hill was on it, but Shipman once again positioned himself perfectly. Burn Shipman is making his case for the team of the week in USL League One. And now forward Madison back on the attack. Boyce already has one here today. Boyce defers to Prentice. Prentice 1v1. Cuts to his right foot and almost took down Thompson on that far post. Just a tad off the mark, but the ambition was there. The pace was on the shot, just couldn't find the accuracy. A tough angle there for Prentice, but that was not far off. Just when it looks like Spokane is about to find a way to enter the scoreline, Shipman denies them, and then forward Madison comes back on the other end and starts threatening. It's got to be deflating for a side like Spokane, who have had good chances, great chances. In fact, better chances overall than forward Madison. Forward Madison just keeps its composure. Javier Hill. Reedy. Fernandez. Now Mumba collects. To Lewis. And that's delivered too far over the head of Luis Hill. Football Fuel. Scan the QR code now. You're going to win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, Daily Oats Taco and Bar, the Burger Dock, Flatstick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Jimmy John's, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Steam Plant Restaurant and Brew Pub. Footballer Fuel. Spokane looking for some of its fuel reserves here, down 2-0. We are past the hour mark. Ken Levicka with you. USL League One from Spokane, Washington. the beautiful new One Spokane Stadium for this USL League One expansion side. Unable to get that ball skied in the area was Andre Lewis. Tried to track it, but it bounces across the end line. After today for Spokane, it is going to be back to the Jägermeister Cup against Greenville Triumph. Spokane's not going to play another regular season match in USL League One until the 23rd of June. Oh, some room here, but a flag is up. It's an offside. Major protest there from Nazim Bartman. He thought that he had a potential 2-on-1 with him and Cheney developing. Bartman has been a bit quiet at the top of the formation today for forward Madison. Now here's Spokane once again. Andre Lewis went to turf. Throw in Spokane, or a foul was called. It's Devin Boyce battling over there along the touchline. It was a foul, and it is a free kick, and it's Waldeck with his left foot. Waldeck whips it in, takes a hop, Cheney on it. Cheney keeps his footing, and now a foot race on up the near side. And look at this ball into the middle. Thompson retreats. Is this three? It is! The delivery was perfect. Aiden Macias in stride with the finish. It is first class from forward Madison. Up 3-0 on the road. They're doing everything right and just picking apart Spokane. Look at that from Cheney. He was able to keep his footing after some physical contact in the defensive half. He won the foot race to the ball. Saw Macias streaking up the middle of the pitch. Put it right on Macias' foot. Thompson, who had retreated towards goal, was not going to get that one flat-footed. 3-0, it's domination for forward Madison. That is wonderful football from the Mingos. And now, it just seems like it's an impossible path forward here for Spokane, especially against that iron wall that's burned Shipman here on this Sunday afternoon in Spokane. My goodness, what an effort from Christian Cheney to set that entire thing up. That was all him up until the point where he caught Macias in his peripheral vision. A trio of terrific for forward Madison on the attack here today. And an emphatic message sent. Just a week ago, they were in Charlotte, needed a late winner from Derek Gephardt to win it. And today, forward Madison looks like a juggernaut. The last three matches, that's USL League One and Jägermeister Cup combined, forward Madison has needed a goal later than the 71st minute to either draw or win. Doesn't look like there's going to be that type of drama here today. This looks to be well in tow and packed away. Fernandez, Waldeck. Well, last time out in USL League One, May 4th, Matt Glazer was not happy with his team's signature defensive effort, conceding twice to Greenville and needing some late heroics from Galindrez to pick up the victory. Well, since then, Forward Madison has clamped down. Conceded once against Charlotte, and they have been aces today with the help of Shipman in the back. Boyce trying to do it himself up the middle of the field. He was dispossessed. Forward Madison so far this year in USL League One, they are +6 on the road goal differential. That's ridiculous. They're fine away from Madison. We mentioned the 6 straight unbeaten to start the year last year. 7 goals for Forward Madison in that stretch. Forward Madison now, this is their 6th match of USL League One. They are, unless something stunning happens, going to start 6 unbeaten. And now they have 13 goals to their name. That's up 6 from a year ago, same situation. Matt Glazer's priority in the offseason, keep the back line and the defense, and then find goal scoring. And he has done that, it appears. Denton is going to come on. Jack Denton will take off Colin Fernandez for Spokane Velocity as Lee Wiedman starts to the bench. A substitute will begin to trickle on here for Spokane, and I'm sure Matt Glazer is checking his bench as well. This is back into the area for Spokane, but once again snuffed out without much drama. Spokane just cannot find consistent openings, and when they do, Shipman has stood on his head. This is lobbed into the box. Lewis is on it. Check that. That was Smith who was possessing. And now Lewis touches it back on. Longmire. Oh, Hill lost his balance. Looks like he got a cleat caught in the turf. Forward Madison trying to put a stranglehold on this, a commanding 3-0 advantage. Goals for Villalobos, Boyce, and in the second half, Aiden Macias. We're going to have a whole host of Forward Madison substitutions. Gebhardt, Galindrez, and Murphy are all going to come on. Juan Galindrez. He was the hero against Greenville. Gebhardt was the hero against Charlotte. And then John Murphy, who's a hero in his own right, just hasn't come up with a late winner. So there's Derek Gephardt. And this round of substitutions for Matt Glazer has been completed. And Matt Glazer has got to be one happy boss right now. This team has responded, a ton of travel and professional efforts across the board. This is sent to the edge of the area, bicycle down, and then one back. A right-footed shot blocked down. It's still rolling around in the box. Gephardt couldn't get a lot on it, and it was punched away. But here's Boyce. Lewis comes over to take it away. Can Spokane hit on the counter? Reedy. Hill. Oh, that's well done. And we're going to have a card here as Hill had his shirt held and unable to spin away. Jacob Kroll is put in the book. And it's as obvious as it comes as Kroll was badly beaten. There you'll see. The crowd boos, Hill's frustrated, and you totally understand it. Desperation mode from Kroll. Just the buildup was really, really well done. Can Spokane get one back? Sometimes that's all it takes to start an avalanche. Waldeck takes a deep breath. The whistle sounds. Hill descended to the back post. And up and over everybody except Boyce. We'll flick it across the far touchline. His throw-in will head to the edge of the 6-yard box. Punched high up into the air. And forward Madison sees Galindrez sent to the ground and a foul called against Spokane. Spokane Velocity merchandise. Velocity fans, listen up. Get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Get your Spokane Velocity merchandise. Just scan the QR code or head to the Davenport Grand Hotel. Long ball up over the top. Galindrez couldn't get there. This will be played on to Thompson. Waits forward and deposits it into the seats. Spokane has Greenville in the Jägermeister Cup next weekend. As we mentioned earlier, the only USL League One, or the next USL League One match for Spokane isn't until June 23rd against Lexington. His throw-in is tracked back near the end line, and Longmire able to box out and allow a goal kick. Meanwhile, one Knoxville to Madison next weekend, Jägermeister Cup. And Lexington, the June 1st opponent for forward Madison. Mingo's about to have a bit of a run at home. This only the third home regular season USL League One match for Spokane Velocity in their first USL League One home match since March 23rd, but because of the Jägermeister Cup, this is the third straight home match period for Spokane today, as you get a glance at Lee Wiedemann looking on, trying to figure out how problems have compounded to this point. The first true humbling in the history of Spokane Velocity. Here's Smith. Smith waits for Waldeck, who comes in support. Waldeck! And it's put up and over the bar. A right-footed toe poke. It looked promising, but unable to get it under control was Josh Dowling. Tough luck for Dowling, who just came on. Well, all the best opportunities for Spokane have come on deliveries to the box and headers today. Here's Reedy. And that one is blasted out of the stadium, onto the road, beyond the goal. Reedy frustrated. He was leaning back a bit as he unleashed that one. Well, Shipman has had 2 outstanding saves today. Lodge was wide open in the first half in front of Shipman's goal and ended up putting a header unmarked way off the mark. And then just a few sequences ago, Doling up and over the bar on what was a very good delivery from Derek Waldeck. Been that type of afternoon for Spokane Velocity. Good turn there from Jack Denton. Right back to Denton. Denton full head of speed. Pierre Reedy. And it rolls to Shipman, who's able to take care of business. That shot actually nutmegged Jacob Kroll. That was of no consequence to Shipman, who saw it the entire way. Gephardt able to stay on it. Deliver it to the outside. Right foot. Looking for the near post was Prentice, but he blasted it by. Getting late here for the hosts, a 3-0 score line. You look at Prentice. Unleashed a quick right-footed shot, but that never was going to test Thompson. Off comes Prentice, a well-deserved handshake from his head coach. And into the match for forward Madison is Fairleigh Sousa. Here's a shot that's up and over the bar. A good chance there for Galindrez, who had gotten through, but the angle was tough. Thompson, good positioning there to cut off the angle and keep it at 3-0. It has been all forward Madison for the most part in this one. minus some decent chances from Spokane, but they have never really, since the opening goal for Forward Madison, been able to truly find their way into this match. So Sosa for Forward Madison becomes the 4th substitution for Matt Glazer. Sosa out of the Republic of Congo. Last year, 8 matches for Sacramento Republic FC in the championship. Former Union Omaha man had 2 goals in 40 appearances. eFootball is here in 2024. Live your dream, rep your team, plays your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. There's a lot to like if you're a Forward Madison fan. Perhaps there's more coming up here, but I'm not just talking solely about this afternoon. What an exceptional start to not only the regular season in USL League One, but in the Jägermeister Cup. And I asked Matt Glazer this week, how do you balance your lineups, your 11, who's available for both the Jägermeister Cup and USL League One matches? And he said there's really no difference. Ownership, they want a cup. We value winning. We put winning 11 on the pitch each time out. Enough said. Shipman predictably cleans things up in the area. All 3 goals for Forward Madison, ones that Mingo's fans are going to want to watch over and over and over on their chosen social media app tonight. First one from Villalobos, ambitious from outside the box, put on plenty of pace, and that left foot was able to push that ball past Brooks Thompson. That was goal number 1. The second goal, Devin Boyce, unbelievable patience and a cheeky curler for a second. And then the third required unbelievable individual effort up the near touchline from Christian Chaney to fight off a defender and then send a perfect delivery to the middle of the pitch where Aiden Macias was streaking unmarked. He got to it, 1v1 against the keeper. He won that battle, and it was 3. All beautiful in their own way. Hard to choose the best. Can Spokane find something? Hill didn't get a lot on his attempt to feed it in front of goal, but he's able to press the envelope enough to earn a corner. But certainly it is going to be difficult to ask Spokane to come up with 3 goals for any type of result. This is headed on to Shipman. Guess what? Another amazing save. The man cannot be penetrated. Burn Shipman continues his golden afternoon. What can't he do? Look at the reflexes. He pumps his fist in celebration. He's feeling it. He knows it. He knows he is on an absolute heater right now That ball's got to look like a beach ball to him. What a performance he's put on. Vern Shipman. Sharif J will enter the fray for forward Madison. Doling couldn't get there. Good defensive play. Stephen Payne was able to fight Doling off that ball. The throw in, headed backwards. Hill tried to swing his right foot into that volley, and that errant shot into the early evening hours here in Washington State. Right idea, Hill's just trying to make something happen, but never had the balance. Heading to the sunset of this match. Both on the game clock and also in the skies here of Spokane as the sun begins to set. It'll end up being a disappointing Sunday for the home fans. Forward Madison has come in and has dictated an awful lot of the proceedings. Extremely productive road trip that got off to a postponed start in Knoxville after the team had already traveled to Tennessee. But they used it to their advantage. And some rested legs helped them win late against Charlotte Independence in the Jägermeister Cup. And then today it has just been a throttling at times, especially once that first goal was scored in the first half. A very deserved scoreline and a very deserved 3 points on the way for forward Madison. And if you're a forward Madison fan, before you go to bed, just thank whatever higher power you happen to share time with for Vern Shipman. He completely demoralized Spokane over and over and over and over again today. In an increasingly jaw-dropping fashion every single time. We are into the 90th minute. We still don't have an indication as stoppage time yet. 4 minutes. Ask and you shall receive, or allude to it and you shall receive. And that was Ferdy Sosa trying to get himself onto the score line. That would have been magic. Why not? You're up 3-0. You just came on, let it fly. Spokane Velocity single match tickets are on sale. Velocity fans, scan the QR code. Get your single match tickets today. Single match tickets for Spokane Velocity. We are officially in to the extra 4 minutes. Delivered to us in this 3-0 forward Madison thrashing The thing is, Spokane has not had a poor effort by any stretch. It's just been some clinical stuff from forward Madison at times here today. Card shown for delay. So Shipman put in the book. What hasn't he done today other than score a goal now? He's been booked. He's come up with miraculous saves. He's caused great ire to Spokane fans. Just a full day of work for Burn Shipman. Comes Hill, has some support on the opposite flank. Now Hill's gonna look that way. Wanted Reedy, and Shipman sweeps it out with a right leg. Reedy, back post unmarked. And the footwork, not exactly what Kamarni Smith was looking for. Got himself a bit disjointed trying to adjust in midair. Right foot or left foot on that floater. And then just shanked it wide. Make sure to stay tuned at the conclusion of this one for our man of the match and the play of the match. We are closing in on the final whistle. A convincing, eye-opening win for forward Madison. USL League One certainly going to consume this and say, man, they've got something going right now early in this season in Madison, Wisconsin. 6 matches played, 6 matches unbeaten, 13 goals scored in those 6 matches. Make that 12 goals scored. My math was incorrect. Very simple math to be incorrect on as well. Now into the final seconds we head. And Spokane find 1. Javier Hill. Played to get to the box. Luis Hill still on it. He kept it in play. And forward Madison wins it back. And there is the final whistle. Forward Madison comes 3,000 miles from Charlotte, quick stop in Madison, off to Spokane, and they dominate on a Sunday afternoon. Thanks in big part to that man, Burn Shipman, who absolutely closed the door on Spokane over and over and over again. Forward Madison gets the goals from Villalobos, Boyce, and then a sensational team goal finished off by Macias and a 3-0 score line. And here is the play of the match presented by Coors Light. Spokane Velocity looked like they were going to equalize. Shipman denying Pierre Reedy on the doorstep. And Shipman as good as it gets today. And the goalkeeper allows it to finish 3-0. So a victory for forward Madison, all 3 points on the road at 3-0. The finish, we're back after this post-game USL League One.
Spring is here, and so is Velocity FC Professional Men's Soccer. Don't miss the historic first season in one Spokane stadium. Feel the rumble in May with 3 home matches on Saturday, May 11th, Sunday, May 19th, and Saturday, May 25th. Get your tickets now.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Vern Shipman, a very successful Sunday for him. A 3rd clean sheet of the year, and his side a 3-0 victory here today against Spokane. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. Both sides were coming in after dramatic Jägermeister Cup victories, and it was forward Madison striking first in the opening half. Jimmy Villalobos able to connect with his left foot. This was volleyed back, able to get on it. And Villalobos beating Brooks Thompson 1-0 to forward Madison. But the scoring would not stop there. Before that, though, Vern Shipman, a point-blank save on Pierre Reedy on a beautiful delivery. And remain forward Madison in the lead. Boyce would then make Spokane pay for not equalizing. Boyce with a bit of magic. Look at the step up, the step through, and the curler. A sprawling Thompson was never going to get there. 2-0, it was party time for forward Madison. Shipman would come up and continue to make life extremely difficult, selling out there, giving up his body, and then look at this as he comes to gobble one up on the near post, and then Cheney and Macias would close it out for good. What a ball on a Macias. 1v1, Macias isn't losing that battle. It was 3-0, and that's how the score would end up at the end of 90 plus. Forward Madison, a 3-0 win, and just for good measure, Vern Shipman near post with the denial, and the frustration reigns supreme for Spokane. Just could not find a way to beat the outstanding German keeper, and a very deserved 3 points for forward Madison. So they'll head back home for Jägermeister Cup action against one Knoxville, while Spokane gets ready to take on Greenville. Entertaining as promised, forward Madison sends a message, a statement victory, taking down the expansion Spokane Velocity. Want to thank the entire crew. Want to thank you for watching on this Sunday. Forward Madison, 3 goals to the scoreline, 3 points in the table. Forward Madison 3, Spokane Velocity 0. I'm Ken Levicka. This has been USL League One.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.